I want to speak to our foreign editor, Philip Turle. Hello to you, Philip. Take us through a little bit of the reactions to this.
Right, well, reactions have been pretty quick in materializing, particularly from Israel and from the United States. Benjamin Netanyahu, first of all, the Israeli Prime Minister, said that Emmanuel Macron's announcement has basically been a reward for terror and for Hamas, and it poses an existential threat to providing a launch pad to annihilate Israel in the future. That was something that he posted on X. The firebrand finance minister Bezalel Smotrich has gone further than that, saying basically Emmanuel Macron's comments give Israel one more reason to annex the West Bank and to end any chance of a future Palestinian state. There's been a negative reaction also from the United States, from the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who described Emmanuel Macron's statement as a reckless declaration and decision. But there have been positive comments, particularly from the Palestinian Authority. Mahmoud Abbas, the president of the Palestinian Authority, said that this was a victory for the Palestinian cause. Saudi Arabia has also described it as an historic announcement on the international community's consensus on the Palestinians' right to exist. Britain has thrown its support. I think Emmanuel Macron is hoping that Britain is going to follow suit and also recognise the existence of a Palestinian state. What Britain has been saying is that it supports eventual recognition, maybe not right now, but it says the most important thing in the immediate future is for, of course, a ceasefire. Germany has said it has no plans to recognise a Palestinian state. That is basically because it has very close ties with Israel, historical close ties, all based on the treatment of Jews during the Holocaust. But it said it could be one of the final steps on the path to achieving a two-state solution in the future for the Palestinians' right to exist.
And all this comes amid growing concern about the humanitarian situation in Gaza and criticism against Israel for its military operations.
Well, I think that on the part of Emmanuel Macron, there is visibly growing frustration with the situation and the fact there's no ceasefire, there is no end to the war. He's been pretty vocal about saying the war has got to come to an end. You've had this document being signed by several dozen countries saying that this has gone far enough, the war has got to come to an end. This is the next step, I think, that France sees. Emmanuel Macron has been playing with the idea of recognising a Palestinian state for quite a while now, but this is actually the decision that he's made to say when and where he's going to recognise it at the UN General Assembly and in September. To put the pressure on Israel, I think, also to say, look, you have got to end this war. You have a window of opportunity now between this announcement that I'm going to make this declaration and the declaration itself, which will come along in September. This is going to stack even greater pressure on Israel. Find a way out of the situation now and come out of this honourably, which, of course, is not what Israel is thinking. Israel is saying, of course, this is going to add support to Hamas and to terrorist groups, saying that, well, if you recognise Palestine, you can go ahead and create more violence, and then you'll get what you want in the long run. So Emmanuel Macron, I think, getting frustrated and wanting to reinforce France's role as a key player. Remember, France is the first member of the UN Security Council, permanent member of the UN Security Council, and also a member of the G7 to do this. So that's why this announcement has become, I think, much more symbolic on France's part than it was when other countries have also said they were going to recognise Palestine in the last year or so. Slovenia, Spain, Ireland and Norway, all of those, of course, have been criticised by the Israelis.
And so any coincidence that the U.S. and Israeli negotiators quit ceasefire talks?
Well, that is sort of more or less a separate issue, but there's a lot of suspicion, I think, in the West as to what the aims of the Israeli government really are, and the fact that Benjamin Netanyahu sees that it's more interesting for him to prolong this war for his own political survival as prime minister and not to face the possibility that he could be on trial for corruption. To do that, he has to play into the hands of the far right in Israel, which support his government. He's had a very difficult time. He's only had a one-seat majority in Parliament right now, so all the more reason for him to prolong this war, to keep the support of the far right, to remain in power. He doesn't want his government to collapse and then to find himself out of power and with these potential judicial problems facing him. That's the suspicion, I think, many countries in the West. I think that's also the suspicion of France, and France has always been quite a strong supporter of the Palestinian cause, certainly since the Six-Day War of 1967. And that explains also why Emmanuel Macron has come out with this statement now.
All right, Philip. Thank you very much, Philip Turle, France 24's foreign editor.